So Clive released a few hours ago. I'm pretty excited about the character. I definitely don't feel like I have a grasp on him enough to make a tutorial or guide right now, but I sort of wanted to get out some preliminary first impressions of, what this character is doing and how he sort of works. I think he is pretty interesting and significantly different from any character that we currently have in the game. Huge surprise there. And I think the really big takeaway is that he's like a defensive powerhouse that requires a little bit of work to get the most out of him offensively, I think is the way I would put it. So let's talk about some of his tools. I think, you'll notice that he has a big ass sword in his hand. It's really, really good for not locking down these like 2.5 to 3 spaces. Some really notable moves are this back 2, which is a high that is -4 on block. You have forward 1+2, which is a mid that is only -8 on block. You have forward 2, which does not reach quite as far as it appears to. See how that kind of looks like it goes through them? So this is one of the shorter of them, which, I say that, but I'm still tagging him from out here, like close to 3 range. But this is a counter hit launcher. It's really, really good. And you also have sidestep 2-1 as a string. These are all just really good, far-reaching moves. You can pretty much constantly, so long as you're at this range, you always like kind of threaten the mix of forward 1+2 being this mid that's also a heat engager, and this back 2, which is a high that's, it pushes them back a little bit, and it's only -4, which is just really, really good for basically continuing this like ranged harassment sort of game plan that you've got going on. And I think all that is well and good. Once the opponent tries to like close in, they have to be careful about the way that they're applying pressure to you, because I think, Clive's punishment game is also really, really good. For a 10 frame punish, we have this 1-2, and let's turn off blocking for this. We have this 1-2, and you see it does 25 damage, which is pretty solid, and it also gives you this hard knockdown. Quite nice. For a 12 frame punish, you have 2-1. Again, knocks down. It's going to push people into walls if you happen to be over there. Boop, boop. Pretty good. For a 13 frame punish, you have 1+2, which, as you can tell, is a heat engager. At, let's see, is this 15 frames? Yeah, 15 frames, you have this down forward 2, which is, a full-on launcher. It's a 2-part launcher. You just hit down forward 2, and then both of these come out. It's a 2-hit thing. A little weird. From your crouching position, things are pretty standard. You have a while standing 4, which is 11 frames. You have while standing 1, which is your 13 frame option. You could either do while standing 1 into 2. So while standing 1-2. Sorry, I'm trying to remember as I speak. So it's while standing 1-2, and that is 30 damage. It doesn't give you a knockdown, but it will push into walls and stuff like that. Or instead, you could go while standing 1-4, and that puts you into this like advancing Phoenix stance. I don't remember what all of these stances are called just yet. But you're +6 here. So you'll notice this 1 hits, and then it says +6 down here. So you should be able to do either 3 out of that stance, which is a mid option, or 4 out of that stance, which is a low option. So you can go into 3, and you notice that the attack startup down there was 15 frames. I'll do it again. Oop. Right, 15 frames. Or you can go into this, and then again, that's 15 frames. And because you're +6, that's going to be a frame trap. So those are your 13 frame options. You either do this, get a straight up punish, or you can go for a little bit of a cheeky mix up if you want to. You've also got a 15 frame launcher, pretty standard there. And then, because my understanding is that all of these options are linear, and so to help counteract that and make it so that people aren't like forcing you to crouch and then just sidestepping every single time, you do have this while standing 3 that is homing. It's pretty slow. It comes out only on that 20th frame, and I guess technically the 21st, but on hit, you're going to get this Torgal knockdown animation, which is going to send them full screen pretty much, but really just for addressing that horizontal lane. So really, really good defensive options. I mean, having a 10 frame jab that knocks people down is really good. Pretty much across the board, all of these options are really, really exceptional, I think. Now, I think in terms of offense, when I said he can struggle to apply offense earlier, I'm not even necessarily talking about like a fundamental offensive game plan. I haven't even really, to be honest, worked that far yet. I kind of need to figure out, what that up close game plan looks like, if he has one that he can really apply at all. But more so what I was talking about is like combos and actually cashing out and getting a reward off of some of this stuff. It felt like every streamer that I would, everybody's channel that I would hop into, it looked like they were doing different routes and had different ideas of like which way that they should go. And each one with like sort of valid perspectives and valid reasons why they were doing the thing that they were doing. So I think this is a character where like there are so many interesting tools at our disposal combo wise that it kind of, it's going to take a while for us to actually optimize and figure out how to get all of the damage out of this character. But B, it also kind of strikes me as like a very situational character where like some characters, let's say we're starting a combo and the wall is like 3 different distances. A lot of characters you could do like one combo and then either like cut it short or add a little extender here to the end. And then it's like functionally the same combo, but you sort of trim it or extend it depending upon, where the wall is, right? Maybe you change like one move here or there. Whereas Clive, the way that it feels is that like, even for like a minor distance, like the wall being a little bit further away or like having a wall break or a floor break situation or a side wall, it feels like it requires like a completely different like combo structure altogether. So it strikes me as requiring like a sort of on the fly thinking to actually cash out and get the most out of his combos. So as an example of what I'm talking about, here are 2 different combos. You've got this. Right? 68 damage, good Oki situation. We got him to the wall. Great. Looks good. Here's another combo. Okay, that did 1 more damage. So obviously in games like this, there are things that are more important than damage, right? The first combo is still better because you were able to get wall carry, you were able to get a good Oki situation, etc., right? But the point I'm making is that like this damage is pretty much always on the table. So you have to be creative with your sequence to be able to get a same or greater reward, than something that was like already on the table like this, right? So pretty much all times you can just do this, right? And I was only able to get that 68 damage and that good Oki situation because I labbed from this specific round start, multiple times over. That same sequence wouldn't yield the same situation on a different map with a different carry distance to the wall or mid-match in particular situations, right? The entire sequence, the entire route would need to be restructured, right? So it requires, again, like this simple thing is always on the table, but this is like, in terms of neutral, like kind of, not to say it again, but neutral, like we're full screen. I haven't really pushed them towards the corner. We're more or less where we were. We're just spread out more. And this is kind of in Clive's favor because, like, again, we have these really long-reaching sword normals. But it's probably not better than, like, having a bunch of advantageous frames and also, the threat of getting wall sticked on the next situation, like all of those things that come with that first route. And you can also get a pretty similar payout on the wall, right? So if we do a wall stick, like here, we'll do this. From that move, you can do the down forward 1-4-3 into the Wings of Light stance. So, and then you just get this payout again. But that's only, you can only really get into this if you haven't used a tornado attack or a screw attack or whatever the fuck we want to call them. So, let's say that we have done it. And we just start using this instead as our wall ender. This is 2-2, 1+2. Right, and it's quite good, especially because it can flip people over on the wall. See how they're like head is towards us? So I think that's quite good. In general, I don't think this character is really mixing you up on account of like his lows are just not very good. He's got he's got this low. This is down back 4. And it takes people off their feet, but as you can see, it is -18. It's relatively fast for what it is, but still, like, you know, it's not like it goes into anything else, and it's only +4, so like that doesn't feel super great. Down 4 is kind of like a generic down 4. Down 3 is also a pretty generic down 3. The only other real option you have is down forward 3, which is forward advancing, and you can go into 1+2 to sort of pick them up off their feet. But this is, you know, a 29 frame startup low that does not give you a combo on hit and is omega punishable on block. So this is not like your in your face high-low mix-up, oh, I got a hit, let's do some anime bullshit type of character. No, this is like you know, we're waiting around in this range, you know, we're trying to fish for stuff with our sword, you know, we're looking for something, then eventually you get a heat engage, or you get a big launch, or, you know, like a counter hit launch off of something like that, or you just find your opportunity, and then from there you're able to like sort of mount an offensive game plan. But the offensive game plan is not, am I going to go mid or am I going to go low? The offensive game plan is like, am I going to push a button right now or a moment later? Or is it going to be this high over here, or is it going to be this mid? Because, you know, if you're just blocking both of these, then you're never going to be able to actually punish any of them. Because again, this is -4 on block. Right, -4 on block, -8 on block, -6 on block. Some other noteworthy moves, back 4 is -9. It has a pretty long startup at 18 frames, but it is still pretty good. This will also, it's obviously safe on block, and it'll push people into walls if it actually connects, so that's nice. Another safe move is down back 1. Down back 1, it has some tracking to the left and right. It's -8, so that doesn't feel like super great. This can be a launcher, though you don't really feel great about doing it. Is it impossible to get it to come out if you block? Oh, that's interesting. Maybe I'm just finding out about this now. So, but if they're not blocking it... Okay, you get... Wait, is that not going to tornado now? Huh. Does it only do it if I am in heat? No. Okay. I must be tripping. Maybe that's a counter hit thing. Sorry, I know I'm getting distracted. I can't remember if it's player counter or opponent counter. Yeah, then it tornadoes. Okay, so... Man, this is a weird move. So now what I'm learning is that this down back 1 is a high, important, that is safe on block, and basically has a built-in option select, because I'm pushing the follow-up and it just doesn't come out. The follow-up only comes out if it hits. And if it's a counter hit, then it's a launcher. And if it's not a counter hit, then it just knocks them full screen, and then guess what? I've got a sword and also a gun, right? So, it's kind of where he would like to be. What else is there to talk about? I guess the other noteworthy thing is that he doesn't have like a traditional hop kick. Like, this doesn't launch people. The only way that you like evade highs and get a launcher is this button. This is forward 3. It's pretty nutty. It reaches really far. And you can get a pickup off of it and everything. But, I don't know. I don't know what the combo is there. And there are so many weird things with, like, you know, for example, I just do this, and then I start doing my 2-2-2 string, and now I'm suddenly, like, off axis. I'm on a different axis. That's a little strange. I don't know. There's just so many things about this character that feel, like, finicky to actually get the appropriate reward out of the combos that you do get. And the up-close game that you end up playing doesn't feel as traditional as other Tekken characters, because he just isn't supposed to play like other Tekken characters. He's not really, like, going for these, you know, mid-low mix-ups or guessies, right? That's not really happening. Instead, it's all about, like, being out here and fishing with these really safe buttons and being like, you know, are you going to force your way in? Because... boy, do I have an answer for that. And then even if you do get in, you have to be really careful about the way that you apply pressure, because again, your punishment is just, when you're on point with it, is really, really good. The other thing I'll note is that like your punishment game, while it is good, is also pretty risky if you aren't on point. So like a lot of characters, you can just kind of do like 1-2 as like your 10 frame punish, and even if it's not like the 10 frame punish you're supposed to do, or even if they block it because it's not actually -10 or whatever, you're only like minus a couple of frames. It's not that big a deal, whatever. Here, if you try to punish something that's only -9, you're now -14, which is way worse than being than getting like a 10 frame punish, right? So you have to be on point with this. It's not just free. 2-1, similar situation. If this gets blocked, you're -13. 1+2. Funny enough, this 13 frame punish is safe on block. So in some situations, you can just do it, like Nike told you to do. But yeah, I think this is the character. He's like this ranged defensive powerhouse who tries to make you impatient and then capitalize on your mistakes rather than like playing a really strong offensive game that forces mistakes out of you. So I think time will tell if this character is able to be successful in this environment or not. I'm really excited to see the optimizations that people make over the next couple of days, because like I'm okay at coming up with combos and routes and stuff, but a lot of other people are like way, way better at it. And I think this character is finicky and situational and requires a lot of attention to detail in that regard. So yeah, I don't know. I'm excited to see where this character goes, and I hope you are too. Hey, if you like this video, I usually don't do this, but I would request that you go ahead and click that subscribe button. I usually don't do these kinds of calls to action, this call to make people subscribe, because frankly, I think it's a little bit cringe. But the year is coming to an end, and I would really like to be able to say that I got to 10,000 subscribers in my first year of YouTube. I think that would be a really cool thing. If I was able to achieve it, I could say it forever, right? It would always be true. So it would mean a lot to me if you would help me out. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one, hopefully with a guide. Take care.